This is your WW3 news. A very strange Christmas if you was watching the telly regarding certain commercials. I've heard there's been a lot of commercials about military recruitment. Very interesting. Then you got electrical companies pushing the narrative of you must be prepared for blackouts. And also this talk about going to war with Russia, conscription, or a draft, you can call it in that way. Are they just preparing us for some false flag event, which they're going to be probably the cause, then afterwards they're going to call the Russians the boogeyman, and that's for sure. And obviously when they sweep in emergency powers, you're a Russophobia, you're a traitor of the nation, stuff like that, and they start rounding up the undesirable people as dissidents and stick them in some type of working camp or prisons. Basically, this is what happens in war times in every nation. Those who oppose the narrative of the government at that moment will be persecuted. And it sounds more like predictive programming, really. They're preparing us, those of the UK, probably in every country, to have a strategy, how they brainwash the population into something, with the Lurgy, they had a lot of experience from there, didn't they? The fear-mongering people. And they will use the same tactics again for another narrative. A war which was probably is not so far away now in a certain period of time. Well, a false flag event will spark off because those of Brussels and NATO, they're very desperate. They need a war, otherwise they don't exist. It'll be their World War III, be their real wet dream. World War III for most of us will be an absolute living nightmare, because probably won't go conventional. Because when the nukes start flying, depending where you are, that will have an impact for the rest of your existence. If you're in ground zero, you don't have to worry about it, you won't even notice. But if you go more further out, you run the risk of being burnt alive, being blinded, or catching radiation sickness. We are governed by psychopaths, ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it or not. And there's a lot of people out there like the sheep. Continue to believe in these people. Continue to vote for these motherfuckers. They're more known as globalists. To be frankly, honestly, they're the ones who are ruin the existence of everyone. Every single person on earth, excluding their own kind. That's for sure. And that's why I don't believe in politicians. When they start pushing certain narratives, they are globalists. Agenda 2030 and all that shit. There's nothing which will benefit us or benefit them, because they'll have more control over us. To be sincerely, Orwell 1994 and all that stuff. Do a bit of research into these things. Which being brainwashed by the mass media. Because when things really happen, or they really occur, whatever it is, event, you'll be caught off your guard. And you don't know what decision to make, because you're not psychologically prepared to face a certain thing. Because how are you going to face a nuclear war? How are you going to face a cyber attack or whatever? That's why preppers are prepared for most of these events. There's disaster scenarios. You call them crazy people waiting for the doomsday with stock up food, ammunition, everything. They're self-sufficient. I think they're probably the only people who are in touch in this world, and they know what's going on in the world. And let's sincerely speaking, it's not looking good. Let's face it, 2026 is going to be another shitty year regarding this year, which tomorrow night will sail out and be signed off. That's the only principle of things to come. I think it's all a question how one faces it, really. Whether you want to be prepared or not, it's your decision. But when the shit hits the fan and your instinct says, oh, I need to get a stock of book paper, by the time you arrive to the shop, the shelf's already empty. This could be, some future, videos regarding this thing.